say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
The terrorist attack on September 11th, 2001 is an event that has been indelibly seared into our memories, a part of America's history we can never forget. But as terrible and heartbreaking as 9/11 was, it nevertheless is a story of American triumph and hope in the face of disaster. On that fateful day, after the first Boeing 767 crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center, over 1,000 police officers, firefighters, EMS crews, and Port Authority officers rushed into the burning tower to rescue those in need. These first responders, as scared and confused as anyone in the morning hours of September 11th, cast aside their doubts and worked to serve and protect their community. Sadly, all too many of these men and women lost their lives as they tried to save others, and O'Fallon's 9/11 Memorial stands in tribute to their heroic sacrifice. The torn metal I-beam, recovered from the wreckage of the World Trade Center in the aftermath of the attack, is a monument dedicated not just to those who were lost, but those who were saved as well. Each year, O'Fallon honors the fallen and celebrates the survivors at our Patriot Day ceremony.
On September 11, 2001, 4 hijacked airliners were used as weapons. 2 were flown into the World Trade Center in New York City, setting the Twin Towers on fire. A 3rd hijacker jetliner struck the Pentagon, and the 4th hijacked plane crashed without hitting its target.
As we watched the coverage of the events in New York, and I will never forget this, we could see people fleeing from those buildings, running away. Meanwhile, police and firefighters, without hesitation, were running into the burning buildings to rescue people. It remains one of the bravest sights that I've ever seen.
Many heroes were born that day, and I'd like to take a moment to remember the 343 New York City firefighters that lost their lives that day, and the other first responders that gave their lives, because even though it's been 13 years, the effects of that day still carry on.
One of the job requirements for first responders is that we're called to put our lives on the line for the good of others. We're motivated by the desire to help, to serve and protect. For police, firefighters, and EMTs, this is more than a job. It's our way of life.
9/11 changed all of us forever, but 9/12 changed us just as much. The outpouring of kindness and generosity to me was more powerful than the terror that happened the day before. Today, we remain deeply grateful for the men and women who put their lives on the line to make our community a safe, secure haven in which to live, work, and play.
This year's ceremony included a recounting of the timeline of September 11th, from the first airplane taking off to the collapse of the Twin Towers to the horrific casualties sustained that morning.
Victims that day: 2,977 deaths, 246 victims from 4 planes, 2,606 in New York World Trade Center, 125 at the Pentagon, 292 at street level, 55 military personnel, and 343 New York firefighters.
O'Fallon's first responders honored the lost with a sounding of the sirens, followed by a rifle salute and taps. Citizens were invited to lay flowers at the memorial under a special ceremonial wreath presented by an honor guard comprised of police, fire, EMS, and Navy personnel. As a community, it's important that we remember and celebrate the selfless heroism these men and women showed, and our Patriot Day ceremony on September 11th was a fitting tribute.